If this summer's getting a little hot, then watch this video and we'll help cool you down. Look YouTube, it's my first unboxing. Just kidding, this is not an unboxing video. Those videos are stupid. This project is easiest if you think of it as mounting the condenser, running the lines, and then mounting the fans. In this case, 2 fans. And then this is a quick disconnect. Goes from this unit to that unit that's going to be mounted on these brackets. These ones with the blue in them are lock washers. They'll stop the thing from rattling off later. Here's the plumbing end of the condenser. It's my understanding that this whole system is pressurized, but it's controlled by this valve. So after these pipes are hooked up here, you open these valves and then it should be all good to go without hiring an HVAC guy. Yeah. You have to like mate those things look good. Finger tight it and then maybe a quarter more. The wiring is pretty straightforward, which is good because the installation manual is not straightforward. So there's the ground, black on black, white on white, red on red. You can see the colors behind there, they're all coded. So in this case, the B is for the bigger unit, A is the smaller unit. And you can tell because down here it's labeled. B has this bigger pipe, A has the smaller one. I put electrical tape to compress this because it wasn't quite fitting through the hole, but that seemed to work pretty nicely. In my case, there are 4 copper lines, 2 drain lines, and 2 electric lines. It's best to keep them tidy so they don't get all over the place. In my opinion, unless you're going into like solid wood with no drywall in between, these screws are completely inadequate for holding up these AC units. So I'm going to get some real screws when I install mine, and I advise you to do the same because these are... Want to make sure these are straight. These copper pipes will bend, but if you bend them excessively, they'll snap. So this flared end needs to line up with the corresponding end on the brass fitting. And it needs to line up quite straight, because this will compress over the brass. They'll compress onto each other. Same with this other line. One's the return and one pumps it over here. Okay. Welcome to my recording dungeon. For one thing, some of the hardware, including the mounting bracket and the screws, were a little flimsy, or actually quite flimsy in this kit. For another thing, I paid about $300 for this kit versus comparable kits because this one was supposed to come pressurized enough so that it can pressurize the 15 feet of line that it came with, which was another downfall. It only came with 15 feet when a lot of these other kits were coming with 25 feet of line. I did that so that I could avoid having an HVAC guy come to pressurize the system, and now I have to have an HVAC guy come to pressurize the system because there's not enough coolant in it, so it keeps sending an error code. There's no leaks. I've checked every possible connection. There's no cracked lines. So they just didn't send enough coolant. So that's kind of annoying. Other than that, it was kind of straightforward. It wasn't that bad of a kit. But keep that in mind when you're installing this kit. This kit is not going to be perfect, and it might just be worth it to just get one that's a little bit cheaper and has no coolant in it, because you're probably going to have to get an HVAC guy to come out. In this case, it's going to cost me $200. So even if it costs you $500 for having a system completely dry of Freon, or not Freon, whatever the coolant is, it might make sense. Look into that. Thanks for watching.